people call me by, I mean, you know, I did music, so Rick Raw.
Rick Raw.
Raw stood for Rick Against the World.
Okay.
With the neighborhood, you know, it was Rick Rock.
Okay.
Probably came from making beats, but just kind of, you know, was I guess it fit. So
yeah,
that's what it was. Rick Rock, Rick Raw. That was
down the back street, doing like 100. Watch till they hit the avenue with like 100 cops. Like welcome to Killer City, bruh. Where these young niggas don't give a fuck. With the shots ringing to hit you up. And them body bags to zip you up. And we out here, cold blood, no love going out, yeah. These niggas don't feel no pity, bruh. Like welcome to Killer City, yeah.
So you say the neighborhood. What neighborhood did you grow up in, for the listeners?
So the honest answer to that would be I grew up everywhere in this city.
Okay.
But 51st Street is where I started, you know, where I got my name and started hanging with my guys. But like I said, I'm from the heart of the community, 39th Street, 12th Street. And my moms and pops moved out to 99th. Once they divorced, I moved with my pops down on 53rd. So that was right around the corner from the neighborhood. Okay. Yeah.
So when you talk about the neighborhood, and we're gonna dive right in if you're okay with it. You talk about 53rd, man. Paint that picture, what that was like. You say your parents divorced. Mm-hmm. How old were you at that time?
I was probably in the 4th grade when they divorced.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you're in the 4th grade, they divorced. And so now you're in this new neighborhood, 5th grade. What are you, 12 years old?
Yeah, by the time I ended up getting with my pops, I was probably around, let me see, it was in my 7th grade year, so I can't calculate what age I would have been, but yeah, everything was new. You know, it was different. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
So they say that you may not be able to remember exactly your age, but I'm sure that you can remember the feeling. Mm-hmm. When your parents divorced. Can you kind of paint that picture for us, like what that was like for you as a young man?
It was hurt. You know, anytime you see your parents, you know, split, you really don't understand at a young age. Of course, you want them to be back, things of that nature, but then you have to try to get used to new people. And that's still hard for me, you know. So growing up, you know, you're not my mama, you're not my daddy. If you weren't my mama, you weren't my daddy. You know, my pops had women.
Yeah.
I couldn't really, you know, respect them as like I would respect my mother. My mother had men that I couldn't respect that was like my father. So that's the pain that you kind of go through, I guess, when your parents split up.
So when you talk about, like, as a child, I think it's really important. A big component of my organization is mentorship. Mm-hmm. A large component is being able to emulate an example of what fatherhood looked like. So if you have your divorcee or your parents are divorcees and you're having multiple guys maybe come in and out, no qualms to your mom or anything. This is not about pointing fingers, right?
Right.
But so you got multiple men coming in. Did you ever feel like you lacked identity at all?
I don't know about lack identity. I guess, yeah, because you tend to try to, you know, I know for me in my situation, I was the oldest. So there was a couple guys that it felt like it came to a time where I had to be the man, you know, to basically push back on some of the things that they were doing. So I guess the lack of identity would have been there because, of course, I, you know, had to step into bigger shoes.
Okay. So when you say being the man, just so we're making this thing as simple as possible, what did that mean? Did that mean something different then than it does now? Or what does that mean when you say you had to be the man?
Like I had to defend my mother.
Okay. Physically?
Physically,
Emotionally?
yeah, emotionally, physically, things of that nature. There was some things that kind of took a turn, you know. So it felt like that that I had to get into a mindset that if something was to happen again, I'm gonna have to go a certain direction.
Where did you seek refuge? Like, you talk about that you moved into this new environment, right? Mm-hmm. Into this new neighborhood. Was it? Paint that picture for us. Was it violence around? Was it gangs there? Tell me more about that.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't something that I was a stranger to. Like I said, just growing up in the heart of the community, it was always gangs around.
Okay.
You know, I could remember back to when I was little, being on 39th Street. You know, you had Seven Oaks, you had Holy Temple. They used to feud with each other, but they was right around the corner on one street. Being on 12th Street, Parker Square, where my grandma used to live. I mean, you got projects that's literally like across the street. They didn't get along.
Right.
So when I moved with my pops and ended up going to the school that I went to, hooking up with a couple guys that were more like brothers to me, you know, it was nothing new, you know. I mean, of course, yeah, there was gangs around.
Did you ever identify or become a part of any type of gang or gang activity?
You know, that's a tough question. You know, because normally what people think about with gang culture, you get jumped in and all that other kind of stuff, you know. I think every city has their own politics and the way that they basically do things, but to answer your question, yeah, I became affiliated.
Okay. Is that something that you wouldn't mind mentioning, like what gang that was that you became affiliated with?
Probably not.
Okay, and I respect that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so
for those who know, they know.
Yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. I appreciate the transparency.
Yeah.
And so we talked about your upbringing. And so when you turned basically you looked to them to be able to provide you what exactly when you joined that gang, right? Because there's a misconception on what gang life is really like, or why you would join a gang. Like at a young age, why do you feel like that was something that you wanted to turn to?
Well, for me, you know, it happened naturally, just the embracing of, you know, like I said, they were like my brothers, you know, from different mothers, and still are. And, you know, certain activities that went on, or, you know, when your number get called, or, you know, when you grow up protecting and defending for your brothers, you know, it's just kind of come with the territory, you know. I was taught a creed by my pops that I stand by. You know, me and my brother and my cousin against the world.
Okay.
If worse came to worse, it's me and my brother against my cousin. So it was to keep that unity and that bond with me and my brothers. So I think that, you know, my loyalty and my love that I got for you know, my core individuals, I would take it there for them. So I mean, it just kind of came with the territory.
So you talk about your relationship with your father. Mm-hmm. Did he support your decision in joining gangs, or did he even know, or your mother?
He really didn't. It wasn't something. No, I mean, to answer your question, hell no. He didn't support that, but it also was something. I mean, you know, my pops tried to warn me of certain things, only because of his upbringing. He grew up hard himself, you know. All brothers, one sister, no father in the house. So he's had his fair share of run-ins himself. So, but he tried to give us a lot of information, a lot of game, you know, just to be able to how to handle yourself as a man first. That's the main thing, you know, being a man, or being a man of God even, you know. So the decisions that you end up making, you know, you have to live with those.